I'd like to welcome you all to this evening's class where we are going to talk about the splendors of harmony. And what is harmony? And why is it such a potent tool for us in our lives? And we will take a unique journey together where we will explore harmony, its powers, and also look at practical ways to build a mindset that enables us to use its strengths and forces fully to the greatest benefit of our material lives and our spiritual journey. But let us start by understanding what is harmony. And let's examine harmony from the perspective of our state of being. Now, harmony is a state of completeness of being, where all elements that define us are completely synchronized with one another. So it is a state of completeness of being, where all the elements that define us are completely synchronized with one another, making you whole. Harmony makes us whole. And therefore, the point to note is harmony is completeness. Now, harmony is fundamental to our existence in this world. It is fundamental to fulfilling our life's purpose. And it is fundamental to completing our spiritual journey successfully. So it's a very key lesson we're going to share today, which I pray will leave you with some very useful tools and mindsets as you progress in your material and spiritual journey after today's class. Now, harmony is present before us everywhere we look. It's there. Some of us see differences between things. Others see harmony. But both these perspectives are important. For example, a rainbow has 7 colors. And you can identify each color individually, and you can use each color to a useful purpose. But when you synchronize these 7 colors by spinning them on a white paper wheel like we did at school, the 7 colors become white. The colors disappear. They become white. And that white color is harmony. It embodies all the 7 colors, but you don't see them anymore. That is what I mean by being complete. Those 7 colors come together as one, as completeness, through harmony, as that white color, which is the basis of art. The white canvas is one of the key bases of art as we practice it. Just like the number 0 is the basis of mathematics. So harmony is one of the definitions of our origin, our Creator, who is complete and pure harmony, embodying all creation in oneness. Like the white canvas and the 7 colors, except with our Creator, there aren't 7 colors. There is infinite number of elements that all come together to provide that oneness. And so it is harmony that leads us into oneness. This is very important to remember. And we will learn a lot more today. Now let's take a few moments and explore the power of conflict versus harmony, because these are 2 completely diametrically opposed phenomena. Conflict is the opposite of harmony. And wherever conflict is present, nothing is complete, because conflict is the opposite of harmony. So let's look at some dimensions or comparisons between the 2. Number 1 is division versus unity. Conflict is pure division. It is like nuclear fission. It's like nuclear energy, where you keep splitting these atoms into smaller and smaller and smaller fragments, giving off energy. But as you split and keep increasing this number of particles, you create disunity. You create chaos. On the other hand, harmony is pure unity. Just like fusion, which is the energy that powers the sun, with all particles coming together, fusing together to produce this one powerful sun. That is harmony, everything coming together. So conflict is pure division, harmony is pure unity. And the power of unity is far greater than disunity. Nuclear power could never come close to the power of the sun. So always choose harmony over conflict. Choose unity over disunity. Choose coming together against fragmentation. And this is important for us to bear in our minds. The other comparison is order versus disorder. So when you visualize conflict, you see fragmentation, scattering, clutter, and hence total disorder. That's conflict. And when you think of harmony, you see fusion of everything coming together in oneness, in a perfect order. So harmony gives you perfect order, like nature. Nature is perfect order. Even though there is elements that are chaotic in nature, in the end it comes together in oneness, in perfection, as a perfect order. The third one is sickness versus healing. Now your body is made up of 85% water, and the state of the water in your body determines, to a large extent, your health. And I have discussed this in a previous class on the power of thought, where the Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto shows how water projects harmony and conflict. And he did experiments where he took petri dishes and put messages like love, happiness, harmony, I hate you, anger, I will kill you, these messages in water, and then froze it, I think, to -12 or -20 degrees. Then he photographed the crystals in the water, and you will see the crystals that are associated with anything that is harmonic are beautiful and perfect. And the crystals that are conflictive, from any message that's conflictive, have no order. They are chaotic. They actually look ugly. So think about it in simple terms. Conflict hurts your health. Harmony heals you. That is why meditation can be used as a powerful healing tool. And over the years, we have worked with many thousands of people globally, sharing meditation as a key technique with water for self-healing and maintenance of good health. Now, how does it work? I mean, we have had groups in different countries, sometimes many thousands of people in one auditorium. They come together as one, from all walks of life, from all religions, all cultures, but they all come down and focus in harmony on one purpose, and that is seeking healing as a blessing from the Creator. Together, in that meditation, we go into a state of pure harmony of the body, mind, and the Creator. It's highly empowering. And with everyone focused on this objective, your body starts to heal because of that harmony. And the water they're holding in their hands picks up the same harmony as their meditation. So if you were to take that water and analyze it per Masaru Emoto's method, you will find absolutely perfect crystals. So when you consume that water, what are you doing? You're enhancing the quality of your blood. You've got the healing code, your body is correcting itself. And so meditation brings harmony. Water reflects harmony. And this is how the body starts to heal. And we have seen countless amazing results. Now, we've also found that medical science, supported by meditation and harmony, produces the best results. Medical treatment helps you. Other people help you. Whereas with meditation and harmony, you help yourself. You combine the two, and it's a very, very powerful combination. So the next time you get angry or emotionally destructive, and these thoughts fill your mind, stop and think. That's conflict. And you're not going to allow conflict to ravage your beautiful body, the temple of your soul. So you pause and use your anchor thought to let go of those emotions, to let go of that conflictive emotions and thoughts, and relax and anchor yourself in harmony, where you're most creative, constructive, and happy. Then conflict versus harmony, you've got love versus hate. Harmony is the home of love. Remember, this is a very important phrase. Harmony is the home of love. If you seek love and you want to remain in love, always be anchored in harmony. It is the power that keeps love ever present, ever nourished, and permanent. Conflict destroys love. It breeds hate. So choose harmony always. And finally, fear versus confidence. Conflict breeds fear. Harmony breeds hope and unity and oneness with the Creator, which brings confidence. You can draw so many comparisons yourself and take the time and think about these two very diametrically opposite, harmony being the most powerful, and then you've got conflict, which is equally powerful. But when you use the powers of harmony, you will always overpower conflict. So this is another tool I'd like to share with you. So now that we all have some basic appreciation of harmony as a state of being, let's now focus a little more on how to use the power of harmony at a practical level to create a mindset that enriches our material world and its experiences, and also helps us to cross the 8th stage of the journey of our soul in our spiritual journey, which is the stage of the orchestra, which I will refresh your memory on in a few minutes. But let's start with our material world, material level pursuits in life, and try to understand the role of harmony in them. So let's use the analogy of a 35-floor tower that is being built in a city, your city. And as you watch it every day on your way to work, each floor gets constructed one by one. And at this point, you will see each floor like a building in itself, which is true because each floor is a building in itself. Then when the tower is complete and all the floors come together as one, your perception of the tower changes. It is now a tower, a whole unit, rather than 35 individual floors, which you won't see anymore as individual floors. You're only going to see the tower. That is the beauty of harmony. Completion, the whole tower, that one unit, that's harmony. And when you look at nature in a garden, and you see so many plants and flowers, the minute you switch your mind to oneness, they all become one in total harmony. And then you see the garden as one whole unit, one complete garden, one complete creation. So harmony brings that oneness, that completion. And you only see that then as the end result, even though it embodies so much within it, like the colors of the rainbow and the white canvas. So harmony is the hallmark of oneness. If there is no harmony, you cannot experience oneness. And this is a very important point to remember. Harmony is a hallmark of oneness. Where there's no harmony, you cannot experience oneness. Both in the material and spiritual lives, this is an important point to remember. Now, the good news for us as a group is that throughout our classes, we have kept building harmony within ourselves. I don't know whether you realize it or not. Knowingly or unknowingly, we have been building harmony in the way we think, the way we meditate, the way we approach life. With each class, we are gaining more and more harmony. You've practiced each meditation technique that I've shared with you, and the superconscious mind faculties, which we are now on the 8th one. As a group, we are already on the road to harmony. So that's the good news. And that's how we've been able to experience oneness in our meditations. So we're doing well. And each one of us strives to see and achieve and experience true oneness. And the best way to achieve harmony and completion is within ourselves at a conscious level. This is what makes today's class so important. Understanding and knowing harmony is the key to creating harmony within yourself. Now, many of the things I'm going to share with you through meditation, through the anchor thoughts, through all the things I've shared with you, they all have seeds of harmony. So I'm now addressing a class that's well on the way. We have recognized the role of conflict and the need to rise above it. We have realized the value and power of harmony. So we are on our way upwards to more beautiful and better places now, together. And once we begin to achieve harmony and completeness within ourselves, we can project it outwards and use it to experience true oneness at a conscious level. Just like the tall tower I mentioned, or the white canvas, or the number 0, or even the complete beautiful human body. You don't think of the eye and the limb as the body. You just see all the pieces come together as one body. Your body is a pure projection of harmony. Let's realize that. You don't look at someone and look at the eye and look at the nose and look at the limbs. You see a body. Your body is a product of harmony. Even its full functioning, when you're healthy, all the parts of your body and all its functions work in harmony to keep you healthy, to keep you alive. So your own body, every time you look in the mirror, you are a pure projection of harmony. Very useful to remember this. And harmony creates unity, and unity is completion, both in the material and spiritual realm. Now let's learn about the first part of harmony, which is how it adds richness to our material existence. So let us share the experience of a school. And this school is like a global village, which attracts students from all over the world, from all backgrounds. They create a perfect global village in this school. They select students not only from academic performance or financial strength, they select students from all walks of life, including people who have had an addiction to drugs, for example, including people who've been through major challenges, including those who are geniuses. So they bring together a blend and create a real global community, because that's life. When you leave school, you're going into real life. So learn as one global community about life. That's education. And this school, one of our children attended a school like this, the United World Colleges, and you should look it up. It's especially if you've got children who are ready to go into IB. These schools, there is a few around the world. The model of the global village is fantastic. And one of our children went to the United World Colleges in Wales. And we could see our child transform completely. To this day, the closest networks globally that they all share is from their peers in those school days. It's absolutely fascinating. So now, let's take an example of a class in this caliber of school. And this class is 20 people, all aged between 15 and 16. Very impressionable age. And these students are a mixture of arts, sciences, and also come from different parts of the world. So there's a blend of cultural, racial, and religious beliefs present and diversity present in this classroom. It's a pluralistic class which draws upon the richness of our diversity and brings us together as one humanity. And that's the model. So now the teacher's name is Hilda. She's in her late 50s. And she has seen class after class come together, evolve, flourish, and move on. And she's played a key part in the lives of so many students. And the topic of discussion in today's class, in her class, is what do we want from life? Now remember, these kids are young, and they have not seen life in its fullness as many of us have. So all they have is a vision of life which remains to be lived. Now let's sit back as spectators and watch this class unfold. So young Mary, whose family has a farm outside of Regina in Saskatchewan in Canada, says, I just want to be happy. That's all. So the teacher asks her, what will it take for you to be happy? And Mary replies, a nice, simple house, nested in pure nature, where I can go out whenever I want and be with nature, where I have enough money to put good food on my table and pay my bills, and a great companion to share life with. This is a pretty good aspiration. So Hilda asks, between now and the time you achieve all this, are you going to be unhappy? And Mary says, no, I'm happy wherever I am. But for me, it is important that all parts of my life and all the things that I think I need to give me a life of constant happiness come together. That for me will guarantee my happiness. Bit of a naive response, but remember, she's only 16 and she has a perception of life. So Hilda says a lot of things have to come together perfectly to give you the one thing you want, which is happiness. And Mary agrees. Then young Muhammad from Lebanon says, I want a life free of conflict. I have lived all my days in fear and conflict. So I just want a life free of all conflict. And Hilda likes his point. How will you achieve freedom from conflict, she asks him. I mean, wherever you go in this world, there is conflict, always going to be present. So Muhammad adds, I am going to become a peacemaker. And that's what I will do. And being a peacemaker, is going to give me a life free of conflict. But Hilda says, let me remind you, being a peacemaker is very hard work. And it doesn't give you a life free of conflict, Muhammad. Because wherever you go, you're going to be in the heart of conflict, and that's what makes you a peacemaker. Sure, he says, but it will bring freedom from conflict for others. And this freedom from conflict will find its way back to me. Because I've always believed you reap what you sow. So it's a wiser answer. Idealistic, but wise. And Hilda thinks, when you achieve freedom from conflict, she asks him, what will you ultimately gain? Peace, Muhammad replies. Peace. So, the first young lady, Mary, happiness. Muhammad, peace. Then young Lee from Hong Kong says, I want to make a lot of money and be very rich so I never have to struggle like my parents did. And so the teacher asks him, how are you going to make all this money without a struggle? Lee replies, I will work hard. I will do my best at my studies and climb the way up the ladder until I am rich. And so then Hilda asks, so when you are rich, what is it that you have ultimately achieved that you don't have now? Security and freedom, Lee replies. Security and freedom. That's what money brings. And my parents had neither of them, and I do not want to live like them. So Hilda says, so when you are rich, secure, and free, what does it get you? And Lee replies, happiness. Little does he know that when you have to strive hard to build wealth, you often end up giving a good part of your freedom. That's how life works. But great objective. But he is also gunning for happiness. Then from Kenya, young man Katana. He says, I want a life filled with adventure and excitement. I don't want a moment of boredom. I just want to be very active and enjoy what I do. So Hilda asks, when you have adventure and excitement, what do you end up with? Happiness, he replied. So his route to happiness was different to Mary's, but the goal was the same. And then Rekha from India says, I want a life filled with love. Love from my family, love from my husband, children, and everyone who comes into my life. I want love. My mother struggled so hard and did everything for my father and his family, but she never found love. So I want to achieve what my mother couldn't. That's a noble goal, Hilda thought. And when you have a life filled with love, what does that get you? Happiness and fulfillment, Rekha replies. So she chose to take the path of working hard for love to get to happiness and fulfillment. So now Hilda decides to conclude this class, and she summarizes and says, you all chose what you wanted from life and presented different routes of getting to these goals. Mary chose to reach happiness through a house in nature, enough money, and a great companion. Muhammad chose to become a peacemaker to reach peace. Lee sought to be very rich to gain security and freedom, which leads him to happiness. Katana chose a journey of excitement and adventure, which leads him to happiness. And Rekha chose a path of love, which leads her to happiness and fulfillment. So the common deliverables we heard about are happiness, peace, and fulfillment. And all these three young women and men chose different paths and different journeys to reach these three hallmarks of completion: happiness, peace, and fulfillment. So my dear friends, happiness, peace, and fulfillment are all end products of harmony. Our routes to reach them may vary, but they are the ultimate end product. So when we go back to the analogy of the towers, the tall towers, as we have through this class, we've ended up with three towers of different facades and numbers of floors. Now it's easy to name each tower, right? Happiness, peace, and fulfillment. The three towers, they are complete. They may have a varying number of floors and all. People may go through different journeys to get to them, but those are the three towers, products of harmony: happiness, peace, and fulfillment. So take a step back. Now, isn't this something wonderful for us all to achieve? So let's move in that direction. Take a step back and look at your own life and ask yourself the following questions. Am I happy? Am I content? Am I at peace? Do I feel fulfilled? Am I secure? Am I free? And the most important one, am I grateful? If the answers to any one of these questions is no, then ask yourself why. And more often than not, you will discover that you have been too engrossed in the floors of the tower and fail to recognize the tower itself. The tower is the product of harmony. And when your answer is no to some of these questions, it tells you to realign yourself and your thinking and attitudes so that you make the most of each floor while consciously and always knowing the tower itself and knowing what it is you are seeking ultimately, just like those children in the classroom. This takes self-awareness, mindfulness, and synchronization of your focus and experiences so that you can spin the colors of the rainbow until they come together as white. Now we will learn more about how to do that today. You noticed I said gratitude was the most important of all facets, because gratitude is the glue that gels harmony together. It is one of your greatest powers, gratitude. And as you become consciously grateful for every circumstance, good or bad, easy or difficult, happy or sad, as you become consciously grateful for each circumstance, you weave threads of harmony in your life. This is a golden key to achieving harmony. It is gratitude. Then the goals of happiness, fulfillment, peace automatically start to fall in place. So remember the following words and make them your conscious mantra. Gratitude creates harmony. Gratitude creates harmony. And when you have harmony, you are complete. You have everything. You are happy. You are fulfilled. You are at peace, secure, free, and lots more. Key is gratitude, conscious state of gratitude. And isn't this a great state of being? Why wouldn't we want to invest effort and mindfulness into achieving this? And living with conscious gratitude is not difficult, my dear friends. It is not. You just have to make it a cornerstone of your state of being consciously. And if you are willing to switch your mindset from being unhappy and ungrateful towards what you don't have, and start being grateful for what you do have, and this is not just material, what you do have materially, it is more than possessions. Be grateful for everything in your life. Then you're going to shift into that state of conscious gratitude. Every morning and during the day and throughout every change in your state of mind during the day, anchor yourself in gratitude. And use this anchor thought as frequently as you can. I am grateful, grateful, grateful. I am gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Anchor yourself in that. This one simple shift in your state of being will change your life in beautiful ways. So start with it today. So you see, achieving harmony is not so difficult. Yes, we've got to achieve that conscious state of gratitude, but it brings so much happiness and so much contentment, and it changes our outlook and it starts to melt conflicts away in our lives. It is a sure way of bringing richness to your material and worldly experiences. Be anchored in gratitude. Be anchored in harmony. So these are two very key anchor thoughts. Now let's move to today's next lesson, which is achievement of harmony in the higher spiritual journey. The eighth stage in the journey, the stage of the orchestra, the stage of zero conflict. And for the benefit of those who are new to the subject of the 10 stages of the soul, let me briefly encapsulate this journey for you. And this is the journey I experienced. It's a metaphorical journey many, many years ago, where I was walking down an old Arabian street, cobblestone street, and I come across the facade of an old building, and there's a door. And this door has cobwebs on it. So it's as if no one has entered this building for a very long time. And something leads me to the door, and I push the door, and it opens. And in front of me, I see a staircase. And so, and at the end of the staircase, it's totally dark. So my first impulse is turn around and run. This is not for you. But something pushes me in, and now I'm in the building. And I'm standing on the first step of this staircase. And the sides, the walls along my sides, I hear noises, the sounds of a marketplace. People, animals, laughing, shouting, activity of all kind in this marketplace. Because this is the stage of my material world. This is the world I have come from. And it is represented by the marketplace, the world of thousands and thousands of events. And then something pushes me and I climb one step above, and now there is no sound. I climb another step, there is no sound. Then, once I've climbed on 3 steps, I now hear from the side of the walls the sound of water dripping in a bucket from a tap. It just drips with complete regularity. And this is coming from the walls. I can't see anything. But I visualize this bucket, I visualize this tap, and the water dripping one by one by one. This is the second stage of the soul, where I have gone from the marketplace, the stage of thousands of events, and I have come down to one singular event, which is the dripping tap. So all the events, my focus has narrowed down to one singular event. Then I leave this stage and everything goes silent. But once I climb 3 steps further, I hear the sound of a grandfather clock ticking away, old grandfather clock, ticking away with regularity, with precision. This is the third stage. In the second stage, one can see the water that is dripping from the tap. Even though it's a singular event, one can see water. But in the third stage, one cannot see the time that is represented by this clock. So I've gone in the third stage from the seen to the unseen. And this is also the level, the third stage, where I can seek resolution and dissolution of karma. So that's a very key stage, the third one. Then, now while I'm standing at the third stage, I look ahead and I see this staircase. And at the end of this staircase, there's a dark wall. And being the scientist that I am, I count the steps, and there's 66 steps. And what is unique is no matter how many steps I climb, there's always 66 steps and then a wall of darkness. So I climb 3 more steps to the fourth stage. In the fourth stage, I hear from the walls the sounds of children playing in a playfield full of happiness, vibrancy, life. So after karmic dissolution in my third stage, I have now reached a stage of pure innocence. It's almost like a new birth, pure innocence, because my karmic cycle has been dissolved. And this is a new journey of learning now, with pure innocence, which is represented by the children playing. So there are no karmic memories left. And hence the children in the playground, happy, innocent, lively, no memory, carried forward from before. Then I climb 3 more steps to the fifth stage, where from the walls I hear the sounds of a powerful waterfall falling with energy. It's almost like I'm standing in the middle of the waterfall. It's water coming down with immense energy. And this is a state of purity, because in the second stage, I started as a droplet of water. Then when I reached the fifth stage of the waterfall, and water is the essence of life, when I reach the fifth stage, I am in an abundance of the essence of life. And water flows and it falls off a waterfall, it becomes pure. So I am in a state of abundance of purity as a result of the transition from the third stage of karmic dissolution to being the child in the playground. Now I have gained and become the waterfall. And this is also a stage of service, because the pure and true service leads the river to the waterfall. So all the service you do and render towards others, towards nature, spiritual or material, all leads you in the fifth stage to the waterfall, where you are in a state of abundance of purity, abundance of essence of life. Then I climb 3 more steps to the sixth stage. Now still in front of me there is 66 steps. When I reach the sixth stage, I hear from the walls the sounds of monks chanting. It's a beautiful sound. And this sixth stage is the first time I'm hearing my inner voice. My body is the temple, and my inner voice is the voice of the monks. So at the sixth stage, I hear my inner voice for the first time. Very empowering, very beautiful. And then I climb 3 more steps, and I reach the 7th stage, where from the walls I hear the sounds of a beautiful beach, wind blowing past palm leaves, rustling, water coming to the beach shore. It's beautiful. This 7th stage is a stage of paradise, where you can see the ocean before you reach the shore. This is the 7th stage where you have seen the light and you know the ocean before you. But you're so happy to rest in paradise that you're not motivated to move forward to the 8th, 9th, and 10th stage. And so many souls stop at paradise and are happy there. Now, there's few souls like Mansur al-Halaj who said, "Why should I settle for paradise when I can taste the true essence?" And he chose to go through the 8th, 9th, and 10th stages. The 8th stage is the most difficult. So reaching paradise is a massive accomplishment, but few progress further to the 8th stage. This is the stage of the orchestra. And as I said, very few have ventured beyond paradise. And very few get to the level of the orchestra, which is a stage of zero conflict, and actually successfully pass the 8th stage, because it's a very difficult stage. It's a stage of pure harmony, and we will talk about it in a few moments. Then I reach the 9th stage. Now, the 9th stage, I hear the sounds of as if I'm at the bottom of the ocean. So I started in the 2nd stage as a droplet. In the 5th stage, I became the waterfall. Now I have become the ocean. The droplet has now become one with the ocean, and I hear the sounds at the bottom of the ocean, the energy of the water. That is the 9th stage. But unlike the first 7 stages, where you leave a stage and you don't hear anything, I hear the sounds of the orchestra as well. So this is beautiful music, music of heaven, all instruments in pure harmony from the 8th stage. That music accompanies me, and now I can hear the music and the sounds of the bottom of the ocean. And then I climb to the 10th stage. And in the 10th stage, I can still hear the orchestra. I hear the sounds of the bottom of the ocean. And now I hear the sound of dolphins chanting. And the dolphins are the monks of the ocean. They are the monks of totality. In the 6th stage, I heard the monks, which was my inner voice, because I had a body. Now I don't have a body. I am totality. I am one with the essence. And I'm now hearing the inner voice of totality through the dolphins. And then I see ahead of me, at the end of the 66 steps, there is a door of light. And at the 10th stage, I am asked to explain each stage by this very powerful voice. I call this voice the voice of thunder. Makes you feel this big, really small. And whereas I couldn't understand what the 10 stages were, after being repeatedly asked on the 3rd time, it was like a veil lifted from my eyes, and I could explain all the 10 stages. So now at the 10th stage, I see the door of light. And after I explain what each stage means, I'm asked, why is it that stages 8, 9, and 10, you keep hearing the orchestra, you hear the ocean, and you hear the dolphins? Stages 1 to 7, they are distinct. And I said, because at the 8th stage, when I reach paradise, I see the ocean before me. And I'm the river. Remember, I came from the waterfall, I'm the river. So in the 8th stage, I, the river, am merging into the ocean. And between 8th and 10th stage, I'm like that river entering the ocean, where my water is sweet on one side and salty water of the sea surrounds me. I haven't merged fully. So I'm both the river and the ocean, hence the orchestra sounds continue. Hence the sounds of the bottom of the sea and the dolphins. And when I complete the 10th stage, I, the river, have merged completely into the ocean. That droplet that started in the second stage is now the ocean. What an amazing accomplishment, which is why I urge you all to make it a life objective to cross this 8th stage and do 8, 9, and 10, God willing, in this lifetime. And no matter where you are, with that objective, you will rise very fast. With meditation, you will rise. With commitment, you will rise. So then I'm allowed to climb up the 66 steps. And when I reach to the door, now remember, think of a staircase, think of a door, and think of a light behind the door. Normally, if there's a dark staircase, that light would fill the staircase. This one doesn't. The light stays behind the door. And I cross that door, and the last thing I hear is, you are no longer you. That is your fulfillment. And a lot of learning came from that experience, a lot of which we are now sharing here together. So please listen to the video and go through the 10 stages in light of what you're learning today. So let's come back to the 8th stage, the most difficult one. What is the one thing that perfects the music of the orchestra? It's harmony, pure harmony. And I'm going to share a definition, with spiritual definition of harmony with you. At a spiritual level, harmony can be viewed as a very finely tuned musical instrument whose notes are clear and distinct, and yet they merge effortlessly into the music as if they never existed at an individual level. It's just like those 7 colors that merge into white as if they never existed. So harmony can be viewed as a very finely tuned musical instrument whose notes are clear and distinct when it plays. And yet, these notes merge into the music effortlessly, as if they never existed at an individual level. This is what we must all aim to achieve from today. Pure harmony, harmony at that high level of the soul. So in the orchestra, at the 8th stage, every instrument must be in harmony with itself. And then it must be in harmony when collectively played. The harmony must be complete between all instruments for that orchestra to give you this special, pure music of harmony which doesn't exist on this earth. It's a music of heaven. All has to come together. All the instruments played by all the musicians have to come together in pure harmony. That's why it is a stage of zero conflict. Because if even one instrument is out, the music is lost. The perfection is lost. So your goal at the 8th stage is to complete that. Now, who are the musicians in the orchestra? They are all the people we interact with in our lives. Our karmic compass presents them to us. Hence, we need to be in harmony with them, respecting their views, respecting their differences, and respecting everything about them. If you're in conflict with your musicians, your music will not transpire. So you have 2 choices. One is work on creating harmony with them, and 2 is walk away, if you can, and let the universe present you with the next option. And if that next person who you walked away, if the next person presented to you turns out to give you the same conflicting experience, then know that the problem lies with you and not with others. So in order to create harmony, you must have harmony within yourself. This is where the instruments of the orchestra come to play together. Every aspect of your being is an instrument that needs to be fine-tuned and prepared to achieve harmony when played by any musician. So every aspect of your being is an instrument. Now, I wrote a book called Towards Zero Conflict, which touches on 12 of these different instruments of our being, where inner conflict could reside and hence manifest as outer conflicts. And a lot of the times we don't even realize our inner conflicts. We don't even know they are present. And in this book, through stories, these stories invoke emotions in you if those conflicts are present in you. And the best part is only you will know. If they do invoke emotions in you, then you know that that conflict exists in you. And then in the book, I have shared seeds of resolution, which is how you rise at a meditative state, at a conscious state above these conflicts. Now, we will do a series of classes after we finish Superconsciousness and one more set of classes on how to overcome, number one, how to identify the sources of our inner conflicts, which will come in our way at the 8th stage of the orchestra, and how to overcome them. And these classes, we will go conflicts by conflict by conflict. And right now, I'm going to list just a few important ones. These ones are your key musical instruments in your orchestra. Number one, your attachments. Material attachments, attachments to people, attachments to memories, attachments to the past or the future. Your attachments can become sources of happiness and also become big sources of conflict. When you are attached to things and people, you have something to protect all the time, and that can be stressful and often creates conflicts, both inner conflict and outer conflict. And when you are detached, you are free and at peace with life. You are in harmony. So choose detachment over attachment. This is why we practice the step of detachment in all our meditations. We detach from the past, the future, and our world. And that allows us to achieve harmony in our meditation. So all the meditations we've been through together, and you have then engaged into oneness and gone into linkage, you've done so using the power of harmony. And it came at the step of detachment. It started from stillness, and then clarity, and then detachment. Then the next instrument in your orchestra is your sense of security. If you are grounded and secure in yourself, you are at peace, you're in harmony. If you are insecure, you create conflicts at every level, from within yourself as well as conflicts with everyone around you. So that's another important instrument you have to be aware of, security and insecurity. Then the other instrument is your sense of trust. Your trust in the Creator, your trust in yourself are sources of strength and clarity, which helps you bring and achieve harmony. So trust in your Creator, trust in yourself. This helps you achieve harmony. If you're filled with mistrust, you risk losing what you're trying to protect. Or you closed yourself from the most precious of experiences you were going to receive. Because of that mistrust, you can't trust. And mistrust also breeds conflict within yourself and with those around you. Another important one is fear. Fear is an illusion of something that lives in the future, something that may or may not happen. But it robs you of the present because you're too worried about the future where fear resides. And fear almost always creates conflict, internal and external. So trust in yourself, trust in your Creator. This creates confidence and hope, which are sources of harmony that can dispel all your fears. Confidence and hope. And it comes from trust in yourself and trust in your Creator. If you have those two, you can eliminate fear. And then another one is your freedom of being and respecting the freedom of others. This is also another key instrument. If you are free from within, you are strong, you are confident, and at peace with yourself. You are in harmony. If you let people have and enjoy their freedom, you are detached from their conflicts. You are at peace and you are at harmony. You are detached from their conflicts. Let them have their freedom. They deserve it. If you oppress others, knowingly or unknowingly, and this even includes out of love, we cling to our loved ones sometimes so tight, we stifle them. Unknowingly, we oppress them. Or if you oppress someone knowingly, you create a lot of strain and stress and conflict, both within yourself and with others around you. Another one is the roots of your motivations. That's another instrument. This is a key for self-awareness. Always check your motivations. Why am I doing what I am doing? What is making me do this? This brings mindfulness and self-correction. So this way you dispel conflict before it even arises. If you go through life unaware of your motivations, your true motivations, you will just bounce around that cyclone like that speck of dust on the outer circles of the cyclone. You'll bounce around like an accidental object, lost and constantly in conflict. So be mindful and check on your motivations every day. Ask yourself, why am I really doing what I'm doing? And be honest. Another instrument at that 8th stage that is in your orchestra is your ambition and direction. Ambition is a good thing. It's a great motivator. But also you have to be mindful of how you pursue your ambition. Check on your motivations behind those ambitions. I once asked a lady who was a high-flying lawyer, very successful. I said, if you want to be the tallest tree in the forest, what would you do? She immediately said, I'd cut all the other trees down. I'd be the tallest forest. Why do you ask me a silly question? But therein lies her problem and the roots of her conflicts. Because how about letting trees live while you rise by working harder and being better? How about rising by being more equipped with better knowledge? How about rising by building better and more solid and harmonious relationships? There is always harmonious ways to achieve your ambitions. Choose those. Another instrument is expectations. And this is a big instrument in the orchestra, your expectations. Be mindful of your expectations, for they can become major sources of conflict and disappointment. I have one saying in one of my books, Be and It Is, which is, if you don't make appointments with fate, you don't risk disappointment. So the road to harmony is to do your best. Attribute all your achievements to your Creator and expect nothing in return and be grateful. That way life will constantly surprise you because you're not expecting anything in return. Life will always constantly surprise you with pleasant surprises. Then another big instrument is your judgmentalism. And judgmentalism is one of the greatest sources of misery and conflict, when both inner and outer conflict. And remember, every being is like a blank sheet of paper. You see the blank side, the truth about the person is written behind the blank side, which you don't see. But we all profess to judge and know what is written on the side we don't see. And what we say to others out of our judgmentalism, where 90% of our opinions are based on ignorance, because we don't know what is the truth, because we can't read the side of the paper that is written. But the opinions we express out of judgmentalism spread like wildfire, affecting so many lives, so many people in such terrible ways you could never imagine. You thought you gave your opinion about someone, but you started a chain of misery for so many. Our words become arrows that pierce many hearts. So why not hold them back, keep them in their sheath, leave them alone, and be conscious about that. And so for judgmentalism in Towards Zero Conflict, I actually taught a meditation about this piece of paper, so that the next time you find yourself judging someone, you'll just see this paper before you and you'll go, oops, I'm doing it again. And you will back down. So there is ways to overcome each conflict, and we will learn it together, learn them. And finally, I mean, I could go on and on because it's a big orchestra. But finally, I'll touch on our beliefs and tolerance and acceptance of the beliefs of others. One of the world's greatest problems and sources of conflict today comes from intolerance, fear, and failure to accept or even respect the beliefs of others. Look at how the major peaceful religions of the world are being branded as terrorists by opposing PR machines driven by equally intolerant people. It's unbelievable. The very religions that preach peace are branded as terrorists because of this intolerance, this fear, this ignorance, and the power of PR, which you can use to drive your agenda. And it's playing out before our eyes. Look at the loss of lives and destruction that has come about from this. Now, I need say no more, except the path to harmony is acceptance, tolerance, and respect for everyone's beliefs. And if you disagree with the beliefs of others, remember you are the kid at the bottom of the classroom of life. Like me and everybody else, we are at the bottom of the classroom, totally unqualified to criticize. So best save your breath. Keep off the stress and remain silent. Follow what you believe and let others follow theirs. So many scriptures say, follow what you believe and each to his own. I've read it in so many scriptures. Let's live that. But we are all experts on the beliefs of others and we all fight with people to see our beliefs as being the best. Gotta drop that. It's the path to pure conflict. So there are many instruments in this orchestra at the 8th stage. And we will do classes and cover as many of these instruments as we can in future, God willing. And we will learn seeds of resolution, which will help us all progress past this 8th stage. Because being aware of your inner conflicts is one half of the solution to the problem. So let's create that awareness together. Now, at the 8th stage of the orchestra, each of your instruments can produce amazing music or create massive conflict, depending on how you work with your instruments. If you can be at harmony with all your inner instruments coming together in unity, you can certainly achieve harmony with all those in your life. All those musicians in your life, you can achieve it. If you achieve harmony within yourself and put all your instruments fine-tuned in that state of harmony. And remember, each instrument needs work, needs constant fine-tuning. That's why the 8th stage is not an easy stage, but it can be crossed. So when you recognize conflict with others, take one look at which of your instruments needs further work. This is a journey where you make each instrument better and better. And you will be helped by the Creator and by the universe. The minute you commit to that process, you'll be amazed how much help comes your way. In the class on karma, we even talked about the karma of enlightenment. If you make that commitment, your karma gets reset, your compass gets reset towards helping you achieve that. Remember, purity of purpose. So if you wake up every day and anchor yourself in harmony and actively seek harmony, it will come to you faster than you think. And remember, gratitude at every step of the journey, every day of your lives. Bear in mind our collective mantra of today. Gratitude creates harmony. Now, finally, in your orchestra, who is the conductor? So let's do the meditation of the orchestra, which is completely different to any of the meditations we have done together. But this is the meditation that is synonymous with the 8th stage. Let's do this meditation together and discover the answer. Who is the conductor? So sit back, relax, and breathe freely. Breathe completely freely. Let all your strains, all your tiredness, whatever it is, leave your body, leave your being. Breathe freely. and be at complete peace. Be at complete peace. Breathe freely and be at complete peace. And take a few moments to go completely still by repeating in your mind, stillness, stillness, stillness. Go completely still. Keep repeating, stillness, stillness. You go completely still. You are completely still. Now imagine you are sitting in this beautiful auditorium on a comfortable seat. And on the stage is this marvelous orchestra with so many people, men and women, so many instruments. And all these musicians are seated with their instruments, fine-tuned and ready to play the music of the heavens. And you are sitting, looking at this orchestra, and there is a conductor who is looking at the musicians. You just see his back. Take a moment. Look at the orchestra. On this brightly lit stage, there's so much light around this orchestra. Take a moment and look at them. All these beautiful instruments and amazing musicians. And then the concert begins. And the first part of the concert is a solo performance by each of the major instruments. So the first instrument that begins to play is the bass violin, the big violin. And it plays a deep music with notes of strength like foundations. And as the musician plays the bass, you feel the energy of foundation. You see before your eyes, you visualize the earth and vast green plains of grass and earth, vast deserts filled with sand, pure earth, rocky surfaces, all kinds of surfaces that you find on earth. These are foundations on which everything is built. Take a moment and look at the surfaces of foundation as the music of the bass gives off this powerful strength and solid foundation. Everything on the earth rests on these foundations. And then when the bass violin finishes playing, the next one begins to play. This is the harp, a big harp, and a young woman dressed in white robe playing the harp. Beautiful sound. This is the sound of flow. This music just flows like water. This is the music of flow. And you now imagine rivers and streams flowing on mountains, crystal clear water flowing in the mountains. Amidst green fields, this river is so clear you can see the rocks below. It makes its ripples and it flows with energy, like the river in the fifth stage of your journey of your soul. And then this river reaches the waterfall and it falls down the mountain with pure fluidity, pure energy of flow. And when it reaches the bottom of the waterfall, it becomes silent and everything becomes calm and still as the water continues to flow at the bottom of the waterfall, slowly away. This is the harp yielding music of flow. Take a few moments and visualize this river. Visualize the music of flow. See it flow and go over the waterfall and reach stillness again and continue to flow. Music of flow. And then once the harp has finished playing, the third instrument begins, and this is the piano. And this piano plays music of playfulness and youth. The notes of the piano give off youth and playfulness, happiness. And you can visualize this by water in a lake. And this water has got tiny waves and ripples just bouncing off the surface of the lake. As the rays of the sun hit the surface of the lake, they reflect countless sparkles of light. This is the piano, playing the music of youth and playfulness. And you watch the waves playing and giving off brilliance and radiance as the sun's rays bounce off them. Take a moment and look at these waves. Watch them play. Watch them give off radiance of the sun as the piano plays the music of youth and playfulness. Watch the waves as they play. Crystal clear water, bouncing light back into the sky, radiance. And then when the piano goes silent, then comes the next instrument, which is the cello, which is the small violin. And the musician starts to play the cello. And the sounds of the cello are the sounds of happiness and energy and life. And you visualize that, sounds of happiness, energy, and life, through dolphins swimming in the sea, jumping out of the water all together and diving back, and all of them following the same sequence together in pure harmony. As the violins play, see these dolphins swim in the ocean and keep jumping out together and diving back in, all in a unity, all in harmony. See these dolphins. Nice blue water, sun is shining, dolphins are bouncing, jumping out together in harmony. Against the sound of the cello, the beautiful violin playing behind. It's the music of nature. The dolphins are happy, full of life, full of happiness, full of energy. And they're jumping and swimming together in harmony and unity. And then the cello stops playing, and then the next instrument starts to play, which is the clarinet. And there's a young man dressed in a dark suit playing the clarinet. This is beautiful music of light, of vibrance. And as you listen to the music of the clarinet, you visualize butterflies. Thousands of beautifully colored butterflies flapping their wings before you, filling the atmosphere with an array of colors you've never seen before. As these butterflies dance to the tune of the clarinet, showing you vibrance, showing you limitless colors, showing you the beauties of essence. Watch these butterflies as they gracefully dance, flapping their wings to the tune of the clarinet. A truly beautiful sight against a backdrop of precious music. Take a moment and look at them. And then the clarinet stops. And the next instrument that starts to play is the drums, the big drums. And there's a young man who's playing these drums, giving off the sounds of thunder, the sounds of energy. Thunder like the rain that falls to earth and nourishes everything below. Visualize rain coming from a thundercloud to the earth against the backdrop of this beautiful music of drums filled with energy. This is the rain of nourishment. This is the rain of life. People in the rain, visualize them dancing, grateful that finally water has come to them. And they are dancing in the rain. This is the music of nourishment, of nature. And the people are dancing and filling their containers with that rainwater and drinking the sips of this precious water against the backdrop of the drums of the orchestra. So lively, so energized, so nourished. And then the drums stop, and next comes the most powerful instruments of all, and that is the chorus. And this is a group of young men and women with the most beautiful voices. The most beautiful instruments on the universe is the human voice, and they all come together and chant in a chorus music that brings perfection and unity to the whole orchestra. As they sing to this amazing chorus, bringing perfection to the orchestra. So many beautiful voices of the finest human instrument, singing together as one, bringing unity to the orchestra. And as you hear these people sing their chorus, a rainbow breaks out in the sky through the rain. The clouds, thunder clouds have shifted, and the rainbow breaks out against the rain, linking the earth from one corner to the other with its beautiful colors as the sky turns blue and the choir sings its tune. And then finally, when the choir goes silent, the last instrument that plays as a solo is the flute. And there's this lady dressed in white playing the flute. Lovely music. This is divine music. The flute is the music of divinity. And you listen to this flute and you visualize the angels dancing to the music of this flute. You visualize white doves in the sky dancing to the music of the flute. It is so soothing, it is so peaceful, it is so pure. And these doves dance to that music. They keep flapping their wings as they slowly fly away from you and into the light. And these doves disappear into the light as the flute plays and takes them on their journey with divine music. And once the flute has finished playing, the orchestra, the conductor spreads his arms and gets the whole orchestra to play together in unison as one. And as all the instruments play this music of harmony, the orchestra is now rising at its peak with energy, with strength, with harmony. And the conductor is vigorously guiding his orchestra. And the stage fills with light now, absolutely fills with light. And the conductor turns around and you see this blessed face for the first time. It is you. The conductor is none other than you. You are the conductor of your orchestra. And you have created divine music with all these instruments, with all these musicians. And then your face disappears in the light, and now all you see is light. Pure, bright, warm, loving light that flows through your being as you have experienced the divine orchestra at play, all in harmony. And you repeat in your mind, harmony, harmony, harmony. Keep repeating the words, harmony, harmony, harmony. Harmony, harmony. Your being is filled with harmony, filled with light. As you now repeat, unity, unity, unity. And you bring together all elements of your being in unity. Like that whole orchestra uniting as one. Unity, unity, unity. Keep repeating these words. Unity. Unity, unity, unity. And then in the presence of this light that flows through you, you repeat peace, peace, peace. Peace in every element of your being. And you let this peace flow through you and go out into the world, bringing peace to all creation. And let this peace get to all creation and come back to you and flow through you, and you become the circle of peace. 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 And then you repeat slowly in your mind, oneness. 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 As you merge with everything, with all creation, with the light of creation, with your Creator. Oneness. 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 You are pure oneness. Oneness. And in the presence of the light, you repeat the words gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. We offer gratitude for all the blessings we have received, all the light that has come to us in our lives, all that we have been graced with, all the gifts of nature, water, air, earth. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude for all the abundance, happiness, fulfillment we have been blessed with. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And let this gratitude flow from you to all creation. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And you may open your eyes whenever you're ready. I would like to thank you all for bringing your light, your positive energy, your being, the precious, most precious part of you, your essence, to today's meditation, to today's class. I deeply, deeply thank you. And I pray that you may always be blessed with true harmony within, with unity, with completion, completion of your material journey, fulfillment of your soul bond, and completion of that final journey of the soul, where you may merge into the light of our Creator. So stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed always.